Good morning and welcome to Birmingham Unitarian Church. I'm Rock Deering, a member of BUC's youth group, Goosh. Today, the service is the annual Youth Sunday service, planned and led by BUC high schoolers with support from RE coordinator Nico Van Ostrand, Goosh advisors Jesse Beal and Bruce Weber, and co-directors of music ministry Abba and Stephen Deering. We also have technical support from our communications coordinator Sarah Konstantakis and Zoom greeter Mary Jo Ebert. BUC is a Unitarian Universalist congregation in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Even in our virtual format, we are a thriving community with a place for everyone. Social justice is an essential component of our church life. We are a capital W welcoming congregation and a green sanctuary congregation. Our social justice work this year is focused on environmental action, economic inequality, civil engagement, and racial inequality. Our worship services are hosted on Zoom every Sunday morning at 10:30 and then later posted on our website and our Facebook page. After the service, we invite you to stay for virtual coffee hour. If you are worshiping with us for the first time today, we extend a special welcome to you. We have one announcement this morning. This evening at 7 p.m., the humanists of BUC have a very special opportunity for us. They will be welcoming Professor Bruce Pollock Johnson for a presentation on the proposed 8th UU principle, of which he is co-author. Our main newsletter reflections are on the 8th principle, and now we have a timely opportunity to hear about the principle from one of its co-authors. Please join us this evening. Zoom access info is on the calendar. Thank you for joining us this morning, or whenever you're watching this. Although we are not together physically, we are together in spirit, and it is good to be together again. And now, our service will begin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abby Schreck. I use she, her pronouns. Our prelude this morning is Romance Without Words by Gabriel Fauré.
My name is Sarah Phillips, and this chalice lighting is May We Be Keepers of Thy Flame by Richard S. Gilbert. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show us beauty, vision, and joy. O flaming chalice, symbol of a free faith, burn with the holy oil of helpfulness and service, spread warmth and light and hope, warm hearts grown cold with indifference. May we bring fuel for thy fire of love. May the oil of loving kindness flow from us to thy leaping flame. May hands of service shelter thee, that no winds of hate may extinguish thy brightness. May thy light and warmth be eternal. May we be keepers of thy flame.
Hello, I'm Holly Cordoville, and I use she, her pronouns. And these are the opening words. What must I do? What is right? What is wrong? Every choice that we make, every word, every song. What do I owe to others? So I can say, I've shown my best for the world every single day. As we move through life, one bridge to the next, the passage of time has left me vexed. Everyone deserves an applause, nothing less. To what do you owe them? A smile that is blessed. As the interconnected world we are, we seek to give our community, and through our tough times, community gives back. As you grow through this world, remember, you are never alone, and remember what you must do for others so we can thrive as the collective.
The mission of Birmingham Unitarian Church is to create a free and welcoming religious community that encourages lives of integrity, learning, service, and joy. The weekly offering serves as an ongoing reminder of this mission. Serving in this weekly practice of generosity also strengthens the bonds between congregants and our high purpose. So let there be an offering in support of this beloved community and our good works. Contributions can be made through our website, Venmo, username @BUCMI, or a check in the mail. However you choose to give, please do so with a heart of gratitude and for each other.
Hi, I'm Rock Deering, and I'm playing Serenade from Don Giovanni by Mozart.
Hi, my name is Nate Schreck. I use he, him pronouns, and we have come to the part of our service set aside for reflection and prayer. We begin with the sharing of joys and sorrows from our community, and for this sharing, we pause the recording. For everyone with joys and sorrows today, shared and unshared, We keep you in all our hearts. You are loved and you are not alone.
Hi, I'm Bradley Cordoville. I use he/him pronouns, and I will be playing Krell from Jupiter by Gustav Holst.
Good morning. My name is Macy. I use she, they pronouns, and happy Mother's Day if you celebrate it. This service is about duty, and while it's beautiful to give and take care of others, it's also very important to remember to take care of ourselves, our duty to ourselves. It doesn't have to be big, maybe saying some positive affirmations in the morning, like I am strong, I am happy, I'm at peace. Or maybe think about a time you're proud of. And if you're not comfortable with that, take some time to watch your favorite TV show or do something you like. Our own peace of mind is just as mandatory as our duty to others, and we often forget that.
Our reading today comes from Rosemary Bray McNatt and is called This Essential Work of Justice and Liberation for All. By no means are we, Unitarian Universalists, perfect. We often fail as much as we succeed. Yet even we have broken our vows 1,000 times, we return to this essential work of justice and liberation for all. We do the work best when we remember that what church is and what it is not. Church is not a place to hide. It is not the place to get away from the world. It is not a place where we get to pretend that the lives we live in our particular situations are not terribly complex, often confusing, and sometimes depressing. Church is the place where we stand with one another, look the world in the eye, attempt to see clearly, and gather strength to face what we see with courage and, yes, with joy.
Hi, my name is Audrey Schreck, pronouns she, her. And if you couldn't guess already, I'm Asian American, Chinese to be exact. As a kid, let's just say I wasn't proudest of the fact that I was half Chinese. Now, I wasn't going around blatantly attempting to hide my racial identity or anything, but every summer before the pandemic came along, my sister and I would travel to China. Whenever my friends and my parents talked about us traveling, their friends would always respond, "Wow, that's so cool. I never got to do that as a kid. You're so lucky." But I never thought I was. Why would I? My 12-year-old mind thought going to China meant no YouTube, Netflix, Google, or social media, trying exotic foods I was sure to complain about, sorry parents, being stuck in a country I wasn't a native speaker in, and not hanging out with my American friends for an entire summer. I was a regular Michigan girl and I wanted to do mainstream American things. Whenever I saw someone in China eating strange food or spitting out bones, seeds, and shells at the table, I would always think, this is why I like America better, because in America, they don't do that. As a kid, I didn't think it was because I was ashamed of my Asian American identity, but now, if I'm honest with myself, I was, which is honestly quite stupid. Weirdly enough, it wasn't until I got into Korean culture and did not travel to China last year because of quarantine that I began to rethink why I had such a negative view on China. When I was away from China, I missed seeing my family, eating my favorite Chinese dumplings, going to modern cities like Shanghai, and seeing beautiful palaces, gardens, and museums. Now, everything isn't as obvious as it seems. Often racism, even towards your own race, is subtle. Much like my situation, we often don't notice the subtle and unintentional racial stereotypings and biases we feel until we do something to promote their change. That's what the eighth principle of Unitarian Universalism would promote: the building of a multicultural community through conscious efforts to dismantle racist oppression. It would help counter cultural stereotypes, biases, and stigmas that are inherent in mainstream American culture, and encourage people, especially kids who are often heavily influenced by their environments, to value and appreciate different cultures. So when kids like me grow up, they can be more proud of who they are and embrace their identities.
Hello, I'm Holly Cordoville again. Use she, her pronouns, and I'm gonna be playing It's Time by Imagine Dragons. So this is what you meant when you said that you were spent. And now it's time to build from the bottom of the pit right to the top. Don't back. Packing my bags and giving the academy a rain check. I don't ever wanna let you down. I don't ever wanna leave this town. Cause after all, the city never sleeps at night. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. So this is where you fell, and I am left to sell. The path that heaven runs through miles of clouded hell, right to the top. Don't look back. Turn into rags and giving the commodities a rain check. I don't ever wanna let you down. I don't ever wanna leave this town. Cause after all, the city never sleeps at night. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. This road never looked so lonely. This house doesn't burn down slowly. to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand? I'm never changing who I am.
Hello again. I'm Bradley Cordville, and this is my senior reflection. 7 years ago, I came to this church. Birmingham Unitarian Church has brought me through quite a journey and has helped me become who I am today. I remember feeling shy and unsure when I first joined RE in middle school. But back then, I was fascinated by many different types of world religions and what I believed in, since my beliefs had developed over time. Yet I didn't feel accepted at first. I was an outcast. I had felt a similar feeling when I moved schools in 4th grade, and I wasn't looking to build friendships. However, during Owl and Rope, I began to feel like I belonged. I met a lot of my peers who I became friends with. And ever since then, I wasn't worried about going to meetings. I looked forward to discussing many interesting, controversial topics of spirituality and society within my Goosh class. Recently, with the COVID pandemic, a great many things haven't felt the same. I had to adapt my routine and my schedule quite a number of times, including for Birmingham Unitarian Church and our virtual services and meetings. Even recently, I felt more and more stressed as my responsibilities have been building up, and as I moved from Walled Lake Northern High School to Michigan State University. I have to imagine that my peers feel the same pressure as well in this new way of life. I've recently been reading a fictional story in my English class called Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. It takes place in India around the time when Buddhism was beginning. It's about a boy named Siddhartha's journey to enlightenment and how he faces stressful situations throughout his life. He has his ups and downs, and as many have, as I have read this book, the more I understand that not everything has to be as stressful, and I shouldn't hold back my feelings. More and more, I have realized that this is only a single point in my life, a momentarily present in our vast timeline. Should how I feel right now determine how I feel in the future? Should I enjoy the ride while it lasts? I owe it to myself to keep myself in check and move from the stress. Yeah, those events were stressful, but now look where I am. I'm here in front of you all and speaking to you today. A few weeks ago, the check-in question for one of our board meetings was, what community means to you? I pondered on that question. I responded by stating, it's a group of people that I feel accepted with. But I have since realized that they are more than that. They are people I work with to bounce ideas off, to discuss things that are sacred to ourselves. My classmates, my friends, my family are my community. Even people that I meet are my community. I owe it to them for being people who I can listen to and people who can listen to me and understand how I feel. I hail to them for their support, and in return, I support them. When they are down, I bring my support and comfort. This can become a positive cycle of support for one another, uplifting each other. That's what I love about community. Hitch Ni-Ad Had states that true self is non-self. The awareness that the self is made of only non-self elements. There is no separation between self and other, and everything is interconnected. Once you are aware of that, you are no longer caught in the idea that you are a separate entity. You aren't separate from your community. Rather, you are one with it. So if you see someone today who needs help, lend them a hand. Let's continue uplifting one another through these difficult times. Thank you.
I'm Abby Schreck. I use she, her pronouns, and this is my senior year. I have never had as much trouble writing anything as I have had writing this. Reflecting back on my time in church feels near impossible because who I am is so completely tied to it. Summing it up into 3 minutes feels even harder. My earliest memories exist in the basement nursery and the social hall, on steps below the chancel, in the green door classroom. I wrote one of my college essays about my religious upbringing. My high school planner has a copy of the principles on the inside cover. Every decision that I make is informed by this faith. My first ever memory of church was putting on a play of Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha's life, for whatever straggler parents had come to pick up their children early, but mostly just for us. I didn't even realize it was learning because in the moment it was just fun. BUC has, from literally the moment I was born, inspired a deep love for church and faith, in part through Sunday school, but also through the examples set here. I have learned the importance of religion and religious community. At BUC, I have been inspired to write homilies when I was reluctant to. I've had folks willing and wanting to listen about school or college or whatever because that's just who they are. I have learned conflict resolution and the power of words. I have learned that my voice is unique and powerful and just as important as everybody else's. What I've also learned through many years of church work is that obligation is not a bad word. Religion and faith are so powerful because they create such a deep sense of obligation to our community. Obligation that is not spurred by reluctance, but rather a deeply rooted sense of our duty to each other. Our obligation to each other and ourselves runs deep as you use. Few things, at least in my life, inspire such a deep sense of obligation like faith. So I would like to say thank you to all of you who have inspired me and shown me what commitment to a community looks like. Commitment that is wholehearted and unabashed, commitment to a building, to a faith that courses through it, to the people who make it up even when we're not actually there. Being at BUC is more than being in a building. Being in BUC is inhabiting a spirit and a drive that is fueled by no more than a need to do right by one another. Next year, I'm going to the residential college at University of Michigan to study social theory and practice. And if you're wondering what that is, in truth, so am I a little bit. But the best way I have to describe it is studying the history of social movements and the practice of making the world more just. I must say, I do very few things without having a clear roadmap. I love rules and directions far more than figuring things out along the way. But what I plan on studying does not have a roadmap or a required outcome. What I've noticed about myself is that big choices in my life, like college and religion, I have allowed myself time to figure it out along the way. I do not know what I'm going to do after college, and in truth, I'm okay with that. I see this next phase in my life like the fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I will figure it out as I go. I know I have a community of people who have taught me as much as they can, a community that will be there when I need them, a community that has instilled in me an obligation to do good.
Hello, it's me again, Holly. she, her pronouns. And I'm going to be doing our hymn, Woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we will know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya.
Good morning. I am Bruce Weber, and I use he, him pronouns. It is time now for the bridging ceremony, a ritual that signifies the crossing into a deeper connection with this church community. Two Goosh advisors, Jesse Beal and Bruce Weber, alongside RE coordinator Nico van Ostrand, are presenting this ceremony, but do so as representatives of many other adults who've had the honor of journeying with our bridging seniors for a time as they navigate belief, community, and values. Just a few BUC adults who've been touched by these bridging seniors' wisdom include parents, RE teachers, Goosh advisor Dave Sabah, BUC staff past and present, Reverend Mandy, and the entire RE Council, Michelle Chapman, Monica Mangerklar, Doug Boddy, Luann Holder, Nate Schreck, Mary Masson, Andrea Zellner, Kyle Sim, and Sylvia Whitmer. Aidan Chapman Anderson, Bradley Cordoville, Mitchell Court, Abby Schreck. You have been part of Birmingham Unitarian Church since the very first time you encountered our community. You have grown beyond what you were when we first met you, and we are all proud of your journey and your becoming. Today, we gather to honor your bridging from youth to young adulthood and into a deeper relationship with the Unitarian Universalist community.
This is a challenging time to enter adulthood, and you've probably figured it out by now, but no adult really has all the answers. Our expectation of you, though, is not that you go out and save the world for us. Our expectation, young adults, is that you go out and be in the world so that we may learn from and lean on each other and find our way towards the answers together. You will, at some point in the next few weeks, receive a gift in the mail, a book called Becoming. This book is full of readings and inspiration, and we, your fellow BUC congregants, hope it will guide you wherever you go. And while we wish we could keep you forever, it is an honor to witness you moving through the whole wide world out there, and no matter how far you go, You will always have a home here in Unitarian Universalism and at Birmingham Unitarian Church.
As we complete this bridging ceremony, I invite everyone to nod your head or give some other visible affirmation in response when I prompt you to. So Abby, Mitchell, Bradley, and Aiden, will you join us in wonder, excitement, and hope as Unitarian Universalists figuring out a messy and beautiful world together? And BUC congregants of all ages, will you welcome these young adults into the deep responsibility and covenant of Unitarian Universalism and the love that this community has to offer? Then welcome Abby, Mitchell, Bradley, and Aiden, exactly as you are in all that you are, to this BUC community. I close now with a blessing from UU Minister Eric Walker Wickstrom. If you are who you were, we have failed. And if you are who you were, and if the person next to you is who they were, if none of us has changed since the day we came in here, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown, in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you are and who you could be. So may we all. Thank you.